Mykelti strikes again with another classic asshole move. She's basically that coworker everyone secretly hates, the one who pulls a stunt thinking it's hilarious and cute, but really just makes everyone want to throw her out a window. Take Christine's engagement taco party, for example. Mykelti had the perfect chance to sit back, smile, and let David come over and notice for himself that Christine spilled something on her dress. That would have been way funnier, and honestly, a lot more subtle. But nope, Mykelti couldn't resist. She starts screaming, "David, David," as if the entire world needed to stop what they were doing so he could see the mess, thus ensuring he'd win the bet. Just obnoxious. Like, seriously, who does that? Honestly, she's starting to remind me of Kody, loud, attention-seeking, and absolutely convinced she's the funniest person in the room. But really, it's just cringeworthy. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Every time they show this restaurant, I can't help but feel like they're eating in someone's creepy attic. It's honestly unsettling. And of course, when he went there with Janelle, I had the same reaction. I mean, who dines in a place that has nightstands and table lamps? It's an old house turned restaurant, with private rooms upstairs for meetings and parties. Sure, it's cute, the food's great, but it's also overpriced. But let's be real, TLC probably picked this place for convenience. They don't have to bother blurring faces, and those two idiots get all the attention they could ever want. I didn't even realize he went to Josephine's with Janelle until now. How can you take your soulmate to the same spot where you declared you wanted to get back with another woman? What a mess this guy is. When Meri started talking about how Kody, Christine, and Janelle behaved during their breakup, I couldn't help but be disappointed in her. Sure, Kody was a total jackass, but Christine and Janelle had every right to stand up for themselves, their kids, and, in Janelle's case, the dogs. Does Meri forget what a complete jerk she was to Christine during those confessionals, especially when she gleefully talked about the knife in the kidneys moment? She was practically celebrating Kody's yelling at Christine like it was some sort of victory. What really gets under my skin is how Meri constantly throws Christine and Janelle under the bus, only to sit there later and wonder why they aren't exactly rushing to be close to her. It's almost like she doesn't see the problem. Meri can distance herself from Christine and Janelle, but let's be real here, there's no love lost between them. They blame her, she blames them. But ultimately, the real culprit in all this is the cult that has kept them in this 30-year battle, making them tear each other apart. Christine, meanwhile, has been pretty clear that she ended their friendship, proudly announcing it on every podcast and in the last few seasons. The message is loud and clear. Meri is not invited. Meri is not wanted. The truth is, this family shunned her. Meri owes them nothing. Is anyone else watching Christine and David and feeling a little over it? I'm not hating on her. I'm happy for her, really. But I'm just so done with the whole Christine and David marriage storyline. I mean, didn't we already get an entire special about their marriage a year ago? And now we have to spend a whole season watching them prep for the wedding again. We get it. She's in love. It's all new after her lifetime with Kody, blah blah. But why rehash everything we already saw? Dragging it out like this? I'm thrilled she's happy, but I'm so ready to fast forward at this point. I honestly don't find their relationship that interesting. It's mostly just Christine gushing about how magical and wonderful it is, while David stares at her with his strained "yep, sure is" expression. It's great they're happy, but is this really something I need to watch every week? It was cute for a while, but now their segments feel like I'm drinking honey laced with icing sugar, just way too much sweetness. She's fawning over him non-stop, and it's just too much at this point. Aurora and Brianna definitely need more friends. I could be totally off base, but the show makes it look like they don't have many. They seem so isolated, stuck in their little bubble with just Kody&Robyn. Sure, they must have some friends, but their mannerisms? Way too similar to Robyn's. It's like the main people shaping them are still Robyn and Kody. At their age, their biggest influences should be their peers, right? But instead, they're literally copying Robyn's every move. It's honestly a little creepy. The upturned eyebrows, the blocky eyebrow shape, the weird lip curl, and the constant, I'm about to cry for no reason vibe. They're practically a carbon copy of Robyn. It's odd because by the time you're in your late teens or early 20s, you should be developing your own individual way of expressing yourself. But instead, it's like they've frozen in time, mirroring their mom in the creepiest way. Yeah, kids pick up on their parents' habits, but at some point, you'd expect them to branch out, right? I thought maybe they'd try to break free through church, but even that's been taken over by Robyn. They'll probably have to move out just to escape her, though let's be real, she'll probably still show up at their house uninvited anyway. At Meri's mom's funeral, Robyn had the audacity to sit there, look into the camera, and claim the reason she couldn't attend was because she and Kody couldn't quarantine away from the kids. Please, we all know Kody wasn't exactly quarantining from Robyn or her kids. He managed to go to a wedding around the same time. Did he quarantine for that too? It's beyond obvious that Robyn is using coronavirus protocols as a convenient excuse to lie and manipulate. Honestly, she gets worse with each episode. The lack of self-awareness is staggering. And let's not forget, I'll never forgive Kody for letting Meri make that heartbreaking drive to her mom's funeral alone. If the show's not going to ask the tough questions or call out these obvious lies, what's the point? It's time for someone to step in, do a real tell-all, and call them out on their nonsense, complete with receipts. Robyn could have shown some effort, even if she couldn't be there in person. But no flowers, no FaceTime, no memorial donation, nothing. It's glaring how little she cared. If I were Robyn, I'd have at least bought a space in the newspaper to honor Bonnie's memory. And the first anniversary, do something in person. But of course, that would require actual effort. And let's talk about the irony. Just months earlier, Robyn made a point to visit Janelle after her mom passed. Why? Because Janelle was still a loose end, a threat she had to keep close. But Meri, she was no threat anymore, so Robyn couldn't have cared less. Robyn joining a monogamous church? Oh, this is peak manipulation right here. I mean, we all know the church is all about monogamy, but of course, she'll claim she's there for her daughters. Classic move. She'll play the part of the devoted mom, all while secretly working behind the scenes to make Kody uncomfortable by letting people think she's a single mom. Cue Kody suddenly deciding he's into monogamy too. What a shocker, right? But then Robyn will act like she is the victim, claiming she wanted polygamy all along, even though this whole thing was probably her plan from the start. She's been pulling the strings this whole time, and no one seems to notice. And honestly, this is just more of Robyn's signature overcompensation. Remember the whole rental house drama? She made a huge spectacle of wanting a rental, but we all know it was just a cover for her real goal, buying a house. Now, with this church thing, it's the same deal. She's pretending like she's still all in for polygamy, when it's clear she's anything but. It's like she's constantly crafting some new narrative to distract from what's really going on. The latest? Playing the shy card. Please, we all know she's not shy. She's just trying to deflect from the fact that the older kids are starting to see right through her act. And let's not forget the inevitable monogamous wedding. You just know they'll have a big, attention-grabbing ceremony to top it all off. Kody will probably break out his signature rooster dance, and Robyn will be off on another honeymoon, courtesy of TLC, of course. It's so nice that we can finally have a conversation without two little kids running around. Anyone else catch that little gem from Robyn on her date with Kody? She actually said it was a relief to talk without two little kids around. I'm sorry, but who is she talking about here? Solomon was 11 in that clip, assuming it was filmed 2 years ago. which is the same age Aspen was when she was tucking in her younger siblings while Christine worked late, because, of course, Kody couldn't be bothered. So pretty sure she's not referring to Solomon, right? Ariella is 6, and sure, she qualifies as a little kid, but I'm pretty sure at that age, Solomon should be able to babysit her, just like Aspen was doing at his age. So why is it that Robyn and Kody can't manage to get a moment alone? They'd also have 3 other adults living in the house, not to mention how many nannies. So what's the real excuse here? And here's the kicker. Robyn acts like she's got 2 toddlers under 5, but doesn't she have a small army of hired help? It's almost like she's playing the overbearing mom while still relying on the help to do everything. Makes perfect sense if you ignore all the contradictions. It seems like she's talking about Ariella, but of course, she has to make it sound like 2 kids to avoid admitting Ariella is the one causing the chaos. Heaven forbid anyone tell Ariella to behave or sit still. After all, Robyn could barely get her to bed without getting bossed around when she was a toddler. What is going on here? Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Robyn to set some boundaries with her own kids, not just the other women's. You know, discipline and teach respect, while their brains are still forming. In the interview, Kody starts talking about helping Meri move, and a clip plays showing Meri accidentally backing into him. Everyone laughs, and it's a lighthearted moment. No big deal. They all move on, no harm done, right? But then Kody keeps going on and on in the interview about how monogamous he is with Robyn, making it clear that the whole thing wasn't funny at all. Apparently, it's an offense to his marriage with Robyn, because of course, the accidental bump was somehow a sexual innuendo. He also mentions that it's even worse because he's divorced from Meri now, and, as we all know, Kody takes marriage very seriously. Here's the thing though, does anyone else think Robyn either saw that clip or Kody mentioned it to her, trying to laugh it off, and she just didn't find it funny? It's like Kody's over-explaining himself in the interview, trying to prove to everyone how serious he is about his marriage to Robyn. Almost like he's been coached by her, or she's been ranting at him about the whole thing, and now he has to make a big deal out of it. The over-the-top response just felt way too much for what was, frankly, a non-issue. It's almost like Kody and Robyn live to react to whatever airs on the show. They're constantly backpedaling, rewriting history, and trying to spin things in a different direction. Honestly, it must be exhausting, and it's clear they're not cut out for the reality TV life. But here's the kicker. If Kody really wants to save his marriages, maybe a little sexual interaction or closeness during moments like that could be a good thing for building intimacy. So him going off about how inappropriate and wrong it was that Meri backed into him, totally overblown and unnecessary. So Robyn's pregnant with Solomon. Let's set the stage. They're fleeing Utah, terrified of being arrested. Their retirement savings are rapidly disappearing into the black hole of renting 4 homes, and they're scrambling to secure loans for 4 more. And in the middle of all this chaos, Kody and Robyn decide, hey, now's a perfect time for a baby. Seriously, does this family ever have a moment where they say, maybe we shouldn't take on more financial responsibilities? Nah, just keep having kids, because that's the obvious solution, right? And honestly, isn't that why the kids and Janelle weren't exactly thrilled? They could see it for what it was, a terrible timing disaster. Robyn, though, I suspect she was in a big hurry to cement her spot in the family by popping out a baby. It's like, if I can't secure my place through love, I'll do it through a tender little bundle of joy. And let's not forget Christine. Was she pregnant with Truly to push TLC to greenlight the show? Because what better way to spice up a reality show than having the 3rd wife pregnant while they're courting the 4th? It brought a whole new level of drama to those first seasons. We all know Christine was instrumental in getting the family on TV in the first place. Maybe it was her last-ditch effort to stay in the spotlight before she realized she was about to lose her spot as Kody's third and favorite wife. Robyn's hypocrisy is off the charts. I was watching old clips and came across the one where she was practically screaming at Maddie from across the room, telling her that she couldn't pick her religion until she was 18. Maddie was only about 15 or 16 at the time, and Robyn was so aggressive about it that even Meri had to step in and defend the kids from her. Yet on last night's episode, Robyn's suddenly all about handling her daughters with love, support, and caution while they figure out which church to attend. Her girls are in their 20s now, but it's wild to think about how differently she treated Maddie, just a young teen, back then. The hypocrisy is maddening. It's like Robyn thinks she has the right to control everyone else's kids, telling them what to believe, while her own children get all this extra gentle treatment. Back then, she had no business even being involved in that conversation, especially when she didn't have any kids old enough to join the youth group. She didn't interact with the kids much, so who was she to dictate what they should believe? If anyone deserved to be put in their place, it was her. The way she yelled at Maddie was completely ridiculous. Why did Meri cling to Robyn for so long? This season, it's clear that Meri has a much better grasp on what real friendships look like. We now know how hurt she was when Robyn didn't show up at her mom's funeral, but Janelle did, how Robyn made no effort to keep in touch during coronavirus, and how Robyn couldn't even muster the courtesy of sending a text. So why did Meri stay so loyal to her? It seems to me that the real reason Meri hung on was because Robyn was her direct line to Kody. Meri must have known that if she crossed Robyn, Kody would turn on her, just like he did with Christine and Janelle. Robyn was her ticket to staying in Kody's good graces, and maybe even hoping for some semblance of a relationship with him. Robyn was practically begging Kody to try to make things work with Meri, but of course, Kody was waiting for divine inspiration to figure out if he should give her a second look. In the meantime, Robyn kept dangling the carrot, telling Meri that she was working on getting Kody to see the value in their marriage again. In short, Robyn was breadcrumbing Meri to keep her around while pretending to fight for her. But here's the kicker. While Robyn might have been urging Kody to make things work with Meri, she was also quietly telling him that Meri had to be the one to decide to leave. Classic Robyn, playing both sides of the fence. Who could have seen that coming? So yeah, Robyn was Meri's link to Kody. Meri knew that if she stayed on Robyn's good side, Kody would be nicer to her too. Plus, let's not forget the emotional connection Meri had to Saul and Eri. Cutting ties with Robyn meant losing that connection, which was probably more than she was willing to sacrifice. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.